राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। हरे कृष्ण। श्री भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय। So we will start with Mangalacharan. Today is the session 5 of Govardhan Leela. Shri Govinda lifts up Govardhan. Let us start with our Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamhyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvise Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees, for coming together on this Saturday evening to have the session 5 of Shri Govinda lifts Govardhan, Govardhan Dharan Leela. Last Saturday, we covered until Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 24, entitled Worshipping Govardhan Hill, verse number 9. We covered till verse number 9. So today we will cover 3 verses, verse number 10, 11 and 12. So again, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 24, verse number 10. Nanda Baba is responding to the many questions of Lord Krishna. So one day, in the month of in the season of autumn, when Krishna is just 7 years old, he went to graze the cows in the forest, and when he came back late in the afternoon, he saw Nanda Baba and all the elder Gopas very busy doing a lot of activity. So Krishna came and he asked questions. So last time we discussed that Krishna asked 5 questions, and last time I forgot to do the quiz with all of you. So can one of you, Mukta Sangha Prabhu, he's our leader, he can decide. Can one by one, can you tell me what questions Krishna asked Nanda Baba? There were 5 questions. Nobody? So the first question was, what is this great endeavor? Krishna asks Nanda Baba, what is this great endeavor going on? Sambhrama, why are you all going here and there? Samyak Rupena Brahman. Why are you going here and there? And Srila Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj from Sri Vrindavan Dham, one of the very, very prominent and senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, he says in his lecture on the Govardhan Dharan series, he says that Sambhrama can have 2 meanings. Samyak Rupena Brahman means completely engaged in going here and there, doing so much activity for this great endeavor of Indra Puja. Or it can also be, they are so busy with this demigod worship that Samyak Rupena Brahmit, they were completely bewildered by this demigod worship. Like that. So they were very busy. So Krishna comes and asks 5 questions. First question Krishna asks Nanda Baba and all the elder Gopas is, what is this great endeavor you are doing? Second question is, what is it supposed to accomplish? Third question, for whose satisfaction is this puja, this yajna meant for? And fourth question, how is this yajna, this puja going to be performed? Tell me the vidhi, how it is going to be performed. Little 7-year-old boy is asking all these big questions. And the fifth question is this great endeavor, this yajna, this puja, is it based on Shastra or is it Laukik? It is based on just some social tradition and custom. So all these questions have been asked and Nanda Baba is giving the answers. And the answers are as follows. The first question, what is this great endeavor? Nanda Baba says, this is Indra Puja, my dear child. This is Indra Puja. Second question is, what will it accomplish? Nanda Baba replies, by offering Indra grains and all these fruits and flowers and garlands and ghee, all these offerings, we will get Dharma, Artha, Kam. These 3 things. Dharma, Artha, Kam. And this we are going to discuss in today's verses. Third question. For whose satisfaction it is meant for? Indradev. Nanda Baba replies. Fourth question. How is it going to be performed? It is going to be performed by offering those ingredients like grains, fruits, milk products, which we are getting by the mercy of Indradev. Because Indradev gives rain. Because of rain, all the grains and fruits are growing. We are Vaishyas, we are agriculturists. So all these grains are growing because of Indra's rain. And because of Indra's rain, the grass is growing in the forest, which our cows graze on and they give milk. So using this milk and these grains, we are going to perform this Indra Puja. Nanda Baba explains. And Nanda Baba gives our Acharya, who says that, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, he gives the example of Ganga, that Ganga Puja is performed by taking Ganga Jal and offering it back to Ganga. So similarly, Nanda Baba is explaining, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, to Krishna, that similarly, my dear child Gopal, we are going to take the ingredients that Indra is giving us and we are going to offer them back to Indra. Like that. So that answer is given. And then the last and the fifth question is this Indra Puja based on Shastra or is it Laukik? Is it based on scriptural evidence or is it based on local customs and traditions? And Nanda Baba explains, which we are going to see today. He admits that this is not based on Shastra, this is based on social custom. So with this background, let us go, my dear friends, to Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 24, verse number 10. We'll go to verse number 10. So Nanda Maharaj is giving answers to Krishna's questions. Verse number 10, Krishna is speaking, Nanda Maharaj is speaking to Krishna. तच्छेषेणोपजीवन्ति त्रिवर्ग फल हेतवे पुंसां पुरुषकाराणां परजन्य फल भावनः. Synonyms: tat, of that sacrifice; sheshena, by the remnants; upajivanti, they sustain their lives; three varga, consisting of the three aims of human life: religiosity, dharma; economic development, artha; and sense gratification, kam. Phala hetave, for the sake of this fruit; pumsam, for persons; purusha karanam, engaged in human endeavor; parjanya, Lord Indra; phala bhavana, the means of effecting the intended goals, to get the goal, fruit. Translation and purports by the humble disciples of our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Guru Varga ki jai. Translation. Nanda Maharaj is saying, by accepting the remnants of sacrifices performed to Indra, people sustain their lives and accomplish the threefold aims of life: religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification. Thus, Lord Indra is the agent responsible for the fruitive success of industrious people. Nanda Maharaj is replying. So now, let us see what our acharyas are saying. And again, I would like to repeat that there are very nice purports given by Gopi Prandhan Prabhu, Dravida Prabhu, and Radhanand Goswami Maharaj, and we are incorporating them in our discussion. So, Sanatan Goswami says in response to verse number 10, he says, by Indra Puja, we will attain dharma. Nanda Maharaj is telling Krishna, according to Sanatan Goswami, by this Indra Puja, my dear child, we will attain dharma, we will attain artha, and we will attain kam. And Sanatan Goswami says very sweetly that only 3 purusharthas are mentioned. Actually, commonly known are 4 purusharthas: dharma, artha, kama, and what is the 4th one? Moksha, liberation. But Sanatan Goswami says, interestingly, Nanda Maharaj is mentioning only 3 aims of human life. He is not mentioning the 4th one, liberation. And Srila Sanatan Goswami explains why Nanda Maharaj is not mentioning moksha, because Nanda Maharaj says that moksha is most abominable. Moksha is not mentioned here because Nanda Maharaj is a great devotee of Krishna, and devotees don't bother about liberation. Liberation is not important for devotees. In fact, for devotees, Kaivalya, Narakashisham. Kaivalya means liberation is like Narak, is like hell for a devotee. So Sanatan Goswami says, moksha is not mentioned as Nanda Baba and all the Vrajvasis were great devotees, and mukti is an obstacle to bhakti. Can someone tell me why mukti is considered to be like hell for devotees? Even worse than dharma, artha, kama. Moksha is tuchha, not mentioned by Nanda Maharaj. Can someone tell why mukti is not important at all for devotees? You don't care about mukti. Yes, Mataji. And here mukti means impersonal, personal liberation in the Brahma Jyoti. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances and Dandavat Pranam to all the Vaishnavas. Actually, mukti is not considered important because impersonal, especially the impersonal Brahman, because once you merge into Krishna, you don't get the sweetness of serving him.
Very good. Can you introduce yourself, Mataji? What is your good name?
My name is Parima Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Parima Mataji. What a fantastic answer. Perfect. You gave 100% marks. Perfect answer. Yes, the key word is seva. Seva. If we are in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, just liberated, then how can we render service? In this world, we may be engaged in dharma, artha, kam. We may be doing sense gratification, we may be fallen, but at least we can offer a tulsi leaf at the lotus feet of our Gaur Nitai, of our Radha Krishna, of our Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. We can at least offer them bhoga, we can offer them water, we can offer them fruit, we can sing for them, we can chant in front of them for their pleasure. All these activities we can do, even in this Baddha Avastha. This is service to Krishna. But if we are liberated in the Brahma Jyoti, Ekatvam, then what is the use? We cannot offer Tulsi to Krishna anymore. We cannot sing for Krishna anymore. We are just existing there in a state of eternality. That is worse than hell. It is better we suffer here and offer a little lotus flower to Krishna, like Gajendra did. Even though he was Baddha, he was in the grips of the crocodile. So for a devotee, service is most important. I think it is in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagwan Kapil Dev, he tells his mother, Devahuti Devi, that Salokya Sarashti Samipya Sayujyam Ekatvam Api Uta Diyamanam Na Grinanti Veena Mat Sevanam Jana. He says that all these different types of liberations, Sarashti, Salokya, Sarashti, Samipya, Sarupya, Ekatvam, Apyuta. These 5 types of liberation are there. Ekatvam is merging in the impersonal Brahman. But this is all 5 types of liberation. We don't want it. What do we want? We don't want them if there is no seva. Veena mat sevanam jana. Krishna is saying, Kapil Dev is saying that my devotees, even if they are given diyamanam, even they are given liberation, na grinanti, they will not accept it. If these 5 types of liberation do not involve service to me. Veena mat sevanam jana. My bhakta jana, they will not accept, even if I give them liberation. If that liberation does not involve service. And ekatvam is a one type of liberation where there is no service to Krishna. Therefore, we don't want ekatvam. We don't want sayujya mukti. If we are on the abode of Krishna, if we have the form like Krishna, that is fine. If we have Sachidananda form, we are living on the same planet as Krishna, that is all right. As long as we can perform service to Krishna. So that is the understanding. That's why devotees don't care about liberation. They want to serve Krishna. They want to please Krishna. We want to see a beautiful smile, Smita Krishna. We want to see our Krishna smiling. That is the aim of life. Samsiddhir Hari Toshanam. We want to please Krishna. That is the heart of a devotee. For that, even if we have to stay in the material world, no problem. As long as we can serve Krishna. So why does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita, you come back to me? So many places Krishna is inviting us back to the spiritual world in Bhagavad Gita. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha mayarpita mano budhir mam eva shashi asamshaya manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam eva shashi yukta eva atmanam matparayana. Again at the end of 18th chapter he says manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam eva shashi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Why Krishna is again and again saying that you come back to me? Because if at all Krishna wants to take us back home, back to Godhead, to the spiritual world, we will go there because over there is no limit, there is no restriction to our service to Krishna. For example, in the material world, sometimes we may want to sing for Krishna, but we have a sore throat. We cannot sing. Certain, our Matajis may want to do deity worship, but there may be few days where they may not be able to do it because we are having material bodies which have their own restrictions and limitations. So we may want to keep awake 24 hours and do Harinam Kirtan, Kirtane Sadahari. But we have to sleep. What to do? This body needs to recover. We need around 6 hours of sleep every day. But that's a lot. 1/4 of the day we are sleeping at least. 24 hours, 6 hours are sleeping. 1/4 the day is gone in just sleeping. And then there are other bodily requirements. We have to use the restroom. We have to answer nature call. We have to brush our teeth. We have to bathe. So many things, so much time is gone in that. So here there are a lot of limitations to our bhakti. Of course, ultimately everything can be spiritualized, can be Krishnaized. But in the material body, there are limitations to our body. We fall sick, we become old, then we cannot do Govardhan Parikrama because we have got arthritis. There's a very beautiful story. Our Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he went to Vrindavan in his old age and he had a great desire to do Govardhan Parikrama. But Srila Prabhupada says he had an attack of rheumatism. I think it is very severe osteoarthritis attack in his knees. He had a lot of knee pain and swelling in the knees. He could not walk. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur told Vrajendra Nandan, he told Krishna, Krishna, I have come to your abode. I want to do Govardhan Parikrama, but because of this acute rheumatism, this sudden osteoarthritic pain in my knees, I cannot do it. I've got too much pain. I'm not able to walk. So please take away my pain for just 3 days. I will do Govardhan Parikrama. I will do Vraj Mandal Parikrama. I will visit all the temples in Vrindavan. And after that, I will go back to my home. And then you can give me my arthritis back with full force. Let me suffer in pain. But just I have come here now. I want to do Govardhan Parikrama. So miraculously, Krishna answered. Shadanga Sharanagati Hoite Jahara Tahara Prarthana Shune Shri Nanda Kumar. Shri Nanda Kumar, our Gopal of Vrindavan, he answered the prayer of Bhaktivinoda Thakur because he was such a Sharanagat Bhakta, such a pure devotee. Immediately the pain went away. Medically, we cannot explain this. How can such an attack of pain immediately vanish with no treatment, no medicine? Immediately, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was relieved of all his pain. His knee swelling, knee pain was gone, and he happily did Govardhan Parikrama. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, I came back home after my Vraj Mandal Parikrama, and immediately my pain came back. And that was completely fine for Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as long as I can do my service. Manasa deha geha deha. Manasa deha geha jo kichumor or pilu tuva pade nanda kishor. That is the attitude of a pure devotee. So therefore, devotees don't want mukti because there is no service. Better we stay here and do some service for Krishna. That is the attitude of a real devotee. So salokya sarashti samipya sarupya ekatvam api uta diyamanam na dhrinanti vina mat sevanam jana. This verse we can all memorize, my dear friends. Because this Krishna is advertising all of us like this. He is telling in the pages of Bhagavatam, my devotees are like that. They love me so much, they are so attached to serving me, to devotional service, that they don't even want liberation, even if it is given. Whereas the other transcendentalists who are on the path of Gyan, who are on the path of Dhyan, the yogis, they are after liberation. They want liberation very much. That is the aim of their life. It is the Purushartha for them. The fourth ultimate Purushartha, Moksha. Moksha chahiye. But for devotees, we want Seva. And why we want to serve Krishna? How we want to serve Krishna? Rupa Goswami teaches us. We want to serve Krishna in an anukul way, in a favorable way, for the pleasure of Krishna. What is that verse? Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukullena Krishna anushilanam bhaktir uttama. Uttama bhakti, pure devotion, means favorable to Krishna. Our service should be pleasing to Krishna. Not like Kamsa, who was serving Krishna by thinking about him all the time. But we want to be like the gopis. That Krishna, to relieve you of one moment of your headache, I am willing to go to hell forever. I am willing to suffer and boil in hell forever to relieve you of one moment of your headache, my dear Krishna. You are my Prananath. That is the mood of the gopis of Vrindavan. So now let us see, my dear friends, in relationship to verse number 10, what our Jiva Goswami has to say. Jiva Goswami says that Nanda Baba explains why he is doing this Indra Puja. He says, I am doing it because we are Vaishyas. We are agriculturists, doing agriculture, cow protection. This is our dharma. And Indra gives us not only the facilities to perform our dharma, like rain for the cows, for the crops, but also he gives us the result of our endeavor. We are industrious people. In this verse, that word is used, that we are very industrious people. We are hardworking people. And who is giving the results for all our hard labor? It is Indra. Therefore, my dear Gopal, we are doing this for Indra. This Indra Puja is meant for Indra because he is going to give us the results. So previously we saw how that argument happened between Krishna, that our acharyas are explaining that Krishna, Nanda Maharaj said that because Indra is giving results, we should worship. And Krishna says, but we should not worship demigods. Nanda Maharaj said, but Indra is not an ordinary demigod. He is the king of demigods. So then Krishna says, oh, but he is still a demigod. And demigod worship is not good. Ye api anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhanvita te api mameva kaunteya yajante avidhi purvak. In Gita, Krishna says that this demigod worship is avidhi purvak. It is not vidhi purvak. It is avidhi purvak. It is done in the wrong way. We should directly worship Krishna. Why should we worship the demigods for any fruitive results? So then when Krishna says like that, then Nanda Maharaj, he silences Krishna by saying that, Arey, but if we don't worship Indra, even though he's a demigod, I get it. But if we don't worship him, then we will have the fault of being ungrateful, because Indra is giving us so much through his reign. So we'll be ungrateful, and ingratitude is very, very big sin. In fact, Lord Jesus Christ said in the Holy Bible that there is no sin greater than ingratitude. And so with that, Nanda Maharaj temporarily he silenced Krishna. So now Jiva Goswami is explaining further that why Nanda Maharaj wants to do Indra Puja. He's explaining to Krishna that because Indra giving result to all our endeavors, that's why we are doing it. Then let's see what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has to say in response to verse number 10. Chakravarti Pad says that Nanda Maharaj is telling Krishna, my dear Krishna, don't think that we are doing this Indra Puja for calm, sense gratification only. Arey, my dear child, we are not only doing it for calm, sense gratification, but remember, we are also doing it for dharma. Because it is our dharma to worship Indra, because Indra is taking care of our cows, and we are the protectors of cow. We are Gopagan. We are the protectors of cow. You are Gopal. You are a protector and maintainer of the cows. And what do your cows eat? They eat grass, and grass is coming from Indra's rain, Parjanya. Therefore, it is our dharma to worship Indra, Indradev. So after this, let us go to verse number 11. So verse number 11. Again, Nanda Maharaj is speaking. Ya enam visruje dharmam paramparya gatam naraha kamad dveshad bhayal lobhat savay napno tishobhanam. Word to word synonyms. Yaha, anyone who, enam, this, visrijet, rejects, dharmam, the religious principle, paramparya, from traditional authority, agatam, we have received, naraha, a person, kama, because of lust, dveshat, because of enmity, bhayat, because of fear, lobhat, because of greed, saha, he, vai, certainly, na apnoti, cannot achieve, shobhanam, auspiciousness. Translation, Nanda Maharaj is telling Krishna, my dear Krishna, listen. This religious principle of Indra Puja is based on sound tradition. Anyone who rejects it out of lust, out of enmity, out of fear, or out of greed will certainly fail to achieve good fortune. Nanda Maharaj said like this to Krishna. Now let us see what our acharyas have to say, my dear friends. So in response to verse number 11, our acharyas are saying as follows. Listen carefully, my dear friends. Sanatana Goswami says, he gives a hidden between the lines internal communication happening between Nanda Baba and Krishna Bhagwan. So Sanatana Goswami says that Krishna says, so in the previous verse we saw how Nanda Maharaj said that I am not doing it just for calm, I am doing it for dharma also, Baba. This Indra Puja is meant for dharma, it is our dharma. So now Sanatana Goswami says, now Krishna is asking, dharma? Nanda Baba, dharma? This Indra Puja is dharma? But we are already following dharma by taking care of the cows, by grazing the cows. That is our dharma. Then Nanda Maharaj says, Arey beta, I agree. But it is not proper to give up traditions that have been handed down over generations. Paramparagat, those words are used in this verse. No? Paramparyagatam naraha, that we have received this in parampara. Evam parampara praptam. Nanda Maharaj is giving Krishna's own knowledge back to Krishna, that we have received this Indra Puja in parampara. It is not proper to give up this traditional custom of Indra Puja. Like that, Nanda Maharaj is telling Krishna. So, all the acharyas, if you see all the arguments we have discussed so far, the internal arguments, we are seeing that Krishna is always defeated by Nanda Maharaj. So, it is building up like that. Nanda Maharaj is defeating Krishna again and again in all the arguments. But now when Krishna will begin speaking, then we will see what happens. Now, Krishna is going to just convince everyone Krishna is very persuasive. He's very convincing. You see what he did to Arjun on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So many reasons our poor Arjun gave. 6 reasons why I don't want to fight. And our Krishna Bhagwan, he just spoke chapters after chapter after chapter, and he convinced Arjun. So here also Nanda Maharaj is giving so many reasons, but now let's see what Krishna is going to do. But that will be next Saturday, my dear friends. So now Sanatan Goswami's commentary on verse 11 we saw. Let's go to Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami says that Nanda Baba is telling Krishna that one should not give up this parampara, this custom, because of 4 reasons. And Jiva Goswami explains what each of those reasons literally means. So first is Kamat. Nanda Maharaj is saying we should not give up Visrijit, we should not give up this Indra Puja out of 4 things. One is Kamat. So Jiva Goswami explains what is the meaning of that. For desire of wealth, Jiva Goswami says, one should not think, Nanda Maharaj is telling Krishna, Beta Krishna, don't think that I don't want to do this Indra Puja. It is very expensive. So many things have to be, so much milk, so much fruits, grains have to be used for this Indra Puja. Better we go and sell this milk in Mathura and make money. Why should we perform this very expensive Indra Puja? It is too expensive. So Kamat means out of desire for wealth. Wealth ki kamna. Dhan kamna. So out of kam, out of desire for wealth, etc., we should not give up Indra Puja. Second, Dvesha. Nanda Maharaj is telling Krishna, listen Kanha, we should not give up Indra Puja out of disrespect for Indra. We should respect Indra. Third point, Dharma. We should not bhayat, fear. We should not give up Indra Puja out of fear of breaking Vaishnava Dharma. Because Krishna previously said that we are Vaishnavas. So why we have to do this demigod worship? So Nanda Maharaj is saying that we should not give up Indra Puja just because we think that Vaishnava Dharma is a supreme. Jiva Goswami explaining. Why? Because then we will be having the fault of ingratitude towards Indra. Therefore, even though we are Vaishnavas and we have Vaishnava Dharma where we only worship Vishnu, but still, out of fear of breaking Vaishnava Dharma, also we should not give up Indra Puja. Nanda Maharaj is saying. That is the meaning of Bhayat. And the 4th reason that Nanda Maharaj is giving is Lobhat. What is that? Greed? Greed for position. Kanha, don't think that, I am Vrajendra. I am the king. Vrajendra. I am the king of Vraja, therefore I will not worship Indra. Because I am Vrajendra, I will not worship Indra. Don't think like that. Nanda Maharaj is telling Krishna. Out of attachment to one's position, we should not, lob for position, we should not stop this Indra Puja. Nanda Maharaj is giving so many fantastic reasons to Krishna. So that is Jiva Goswami. Now let us see what our Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has to say for verse number 11. Chakravarti Path says, Nanda Baba is telling Krishna about the dire consequences of not worshipping Indra Dev. So we saw now this verse says that if we don't worship Indra, verse number 11, that na apnoti shobhanam. We will, if somebody gives up, then we will not attain auspiciousness. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that in this verse number 11, Nanda Maharaj is telling Krishna that, my dear Krishna, if we don't worship Indra, if we don't do this Indra Puja, there will be dire consequences. We will not attain anything. We will not achieve success in our endeavors. We will not attain auspiciousness. Like that, he is giving Krishna fear. That, almost like a threat. That if we don't do this Indra Puja, then we will not attain auspiciousness. So here, Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj, in his lecture, he says, to acha hai na, nahi karna chahiye. So here Krishna is telling Nanda Baba, when Nanda Maharaj says that if we don't perform Indra Puja, we will not get auspiciousness. So then Radha Govinda Maharaj says, then Krishna tells Nanda Maharaj that therefore we should not worship Indra. Because there are so many atheists who are also Vaishyas, they are agriculturists. Without worshipping any Devta, they are also getting rain, they are also getting grains, they are also getting wealth, and they are flourishing. So why should we worship Indra? Because if 1 year we fail to worship him, this rascal Indra is going to take away all auspiciousness for us. He is going to punish us. Why worship such a faltu Devta? Krishna is telling Nanda Maharaj like that. That if Indra is going to punish us, if 1 year we fail to worship him, then why worship him in the first place? We should give up this worship. Look at so many other atheists. They don't worship any demigod and still they are getting the same rain and same crops. Like that, Krishna is saying. But here, Chakravarti Path says that Nanda Maharaj is telling the dire consequences if Indra Puja is stopped. He's telling Krishna. So here, my dear friends, let us pause and reflect a little bit. Nanda Maharaj is saying that if we don't worship Indra, there will be dire consequences for us. So similarly, my dear friends, Bhakti, our process of Krishna consciousness, also has got 4 stages, which Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in his book Madhurya Kadambi. Chakravarti Path says in Bhakti there are 4 stages. It's so beautiful. He says the first stage is Bhaya, dire consequences, fear. Second stage of Bhakti is Apeksha, reward. We want something in return. Third is we do it out of dharma, we do it out of duty. We are duty bound. And fourth is prem, love. My dear friends, these are the 4 stages of Krishna consciousness for all of us, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So here Nanda Maharaj is basing his Indra Puja on the lowest principle, the first principle, that is fear. That if we don't do it, then there will be dire consequences. So these are the 4 stages of bhakti. Fear, expectation of something in return, duty, and love. We have to rise through these stages to the stage of love. What does this mean? My dear friends, let us take a simple example. Most of us have children, right? So take the example of our child, or take our example. We have all been children. Mukta Sangha Prabhu, Ram Kumar Prabhu, we have all been children. We have all been children. So now remember ourselves. When we were small and we didn't want to go to school because we wanted to fly kites. It is the month of November and December and we want to fly kites. Or it is the cricket season and we want to play gully cricket. We don't want to go to school. So we tell the parents that I don't want to go to school. I want to play with my friends. Then what parents say? I'll give you one. Now we say I'll give time out. Because giving one fatka is no longer. So we say I will give you time out. What is that? That is punishment. Or I will not give you laddu. I will not give you rasgulla. I will take away your sweets if you don't go to school. So that is punishment. I will give you time out, or I will give you this punishment, that punishment. So going to school to study out of fear. If I don't go, my parents will punish me. That's why I have to go to school. That is the first stage. It's the lowest stage. Second stage is for reward. When we become little big, then we say, okay, if you go to school, if you study nicely, I will let you play cricket, not for 2 hours, but for 3 hours in the evening with your friends. You can play till 7 o'clock. Like that, we give reward. So, oh, really? Yeah. Or if you, I remember my parents, they would say, when we were small, growing up in Akola, there was only one ice cream parlor in the whole city. It was Dinshaw's. It's a company based in Nagpur. So in Akola, we had this Dinshaw's ice cream parlor. Only one ice cream parlor in the whole city. So my parents would say that if you get good marks, then on Sunday we will take you for ice cream. So that was a big treat for us. So that is for reward. We are going to school, we are studying hard. Why? Because we want reward. We want that rasgulla. We want that ice cream. We want that extra playtime for reward. That is the second stage. It is better than doing it out of fear, but it is still a low stage to do it for some reward, expecting something in return. Third stage, my dear friends, why we go to school is out of duty. Like parents will say, when we are in, now we are growing up, now we are in 10th exam or 12th exam, board exams are there. Parents will say, look beta, now we are getting old. Now I am approaching my retirement age. Now it is your responsibility. So you better study, make some career, get some job, and stand on your own feet. Become responsible. It is your duty. We are getting old. Or even when we are married or we are about to get married, then the parents will tell, now see, you are getting married. You have responsibility of a wife. You have responsibility of children will come in the future. It is your duty to make your career. Work hard, work diligently, study hard. So the third stage is we do it out of being duty bound. Oh no, it's my duty. My parents have invested so much in me. It is my duty to study and make a career. That is the third stage. Why we study, why we work in the office, why we get a job. It's our duty. I'm answerable to my parents. I'm answerable to society. I'm answerable to my teachers who have taught me. I'm answerable to my wife. She's depending on me. So that is the third stage, out of duty. That is also a low stage. And what is the best stage? The highest stage is to do it out of love. What happens? Then we get married. Then we start liking our wife. Then children come. We get attached to children. Then the parents don't have to tell us, Arey Baba, go to work, get your paycheck, you need to earn money. Nobody has to tell us. We love our children so much that we will do the extra shift. We will take 2 jobs because we love them. We want to provide for them. Nobody has to tell us, go and earn money, go and work. Nobody. We have fallen in love with now the children have come. That stage is gone where parents have to say, I'll punish you, or I will give you a lollipop, or it is your duty, Baba, do it. Now nobody has to tell us. Now we have attained prem. We love our children. We love our wife. We love our old parents. We want to secure them. We want to take care of the family. We love our family. So out of love, we go and work, earn money. So there are 4 stages. Mundane example. These same principles apply to Krishna consciousnness, my dear friends. First, when we are preached by our Gurugan, they tell us, Arey, Baba, this material world is Bhausagar, Dukkhalayama Shashwatam. If you don't worship Krishna, you will be entangled in your karma chakra and you will go to hell. They show us the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the different hellish planets. Oh, really? Oh, no. I want to chant Hare Krishna. I want to be saved like Ajamil was saved. Like that. So out of fear, we take to Krishna consciousness. Second stage is, somebody tells us that if you chant Hare Krishna, then Krishna will take care of everything. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. He will provide everything. He will get you a project. I know you are an H1B, your project has ended. You just chant Hare Krishna, you pray, and you will get a project. You will be protected. Or you will get your H1B visa. So we want something in return. We want a reward. Once I was listening to one lecture that I have heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but I have heard that there is one Balaji temple in somewhere in, I think, Hyderabad or somewhere, which is called Visa Balaji, where people go there to pray for Balaji. Is that true? Anybody knows like that?
Yeah, me too. I have heard, Prabhuji. Yeah.
I have heard. I don't know. So this is the second stage.
Yes, Prabhu, I have heard. They call it Visa Balaji. I've heard. I've read it in a newspaper.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's in Chilukur Balaji.
Okay. Hare
And,
Krishna.
and
So people worship. So that is
queue will be too long. Queue will be too long. Finding position in the queue will be very difficult, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So this is the second stage where we practice Krishna consciousness for reward. We want good marks in the exam, therefore we chant, or we want to get a job, that's why we chant. So that is second stage, to expect a reward in return. So Krishna consciousness for reward. Third stage is, I don't have any taste, but what to do? I have taken initiation. I have taken vows in front of my Guru Maharaj. I will chant at least 16 rounds every day. I will follow 4 regulative principles. I really want to drink tea and coffee, but what to do? I have given my word. It's my duty to follow the 4 regulative principles, duty to chant 16 rounds. So out of duty, somehow at night we are sleepy, but somehow we are finishing our rounds. Ho gaya 16 rounds are done. Now I can go to sleep. So that is duty bound. It is my duty to chant. It is my duty to follow 4 regulative principles. That is the third stage of Krishna consciousness, but these are low stages. But the stage that we aspire for is the 4th stage, where nobody has to tell us. We chant more than 16 rounds. We chant extra rounds. We read Bhagavatam. We attend classes. Nobody is forcing us to attend these classes. But we still sit in the satsang and hear the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because we like it. We want to do it. So that is the 4th stage. And that 4th stage can keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. I like Bhagavatam. From there we can go to I love Bhagavatam. Like that. So that is our Krishna consciousness. These 4 stages are there. So we have to go from fear to reward to duty to love. And we want to practice Krishna consciousness spontaneously with love. That is Raganuga Bhakti. We aspire for that stage. So that is our Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying. Now we go to the last verse for today. and that is verse number 12. Now this verse, so Nanda Maharaj has given all his explanation why Indra Puja should be performed, and he's concluding with fear. If we don't perform, there will be a lot of problem for us, he tells Krishna. And now Shukdev Goswami is speaking. Verse number 12. Shri Shuka Uvacha Vacho Nishamya Nandasya Tathanyesham Vrajaukasam Indraya Manyum Janayan Pitaram Praha Keshavaha. Synonyms. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, Vachaha, the words, Nishamya, hearing, Nandasya, of Maharaj Nanda, the father of Krishna, Tatha, and also Anyesham, of the others, Vraja Oka Sam, the residents of Vraja, Indraya, in Lord Indra, Manyum, anger. You see, Man Leela. Radharani is in Man, she's angry. So Manyum, anger. Janayan, generating. Pitaram, to his father. Praha, he spoke. Keshava, Lord Keshav. Translation. Shukadeva Goswami said, when Lord Keshav, Krishna, heard the statements of his father Nanda and other senior residents of Vraja, he addressed his father as follows: to arouse anger in Indra. So now Lord Krishna is going to start speaking. And he's speaking why? Manyum Janayam, to arouse anger in Indra. Indraya Manyum Janayam. So Shukdev Goswami is saying that now Lord Keshav, after hearing the statements of his father and other senior residents of Vrindavan, he is going to speak to his father as follows in order to arouse anger in Lord Indra. So now let us go to the commentaries on verse number 12. There are 4 commentators. We have Sridhar Swami's commentary also here available. So verse number 12, Sridhar Swami, he says that Krishna's intention was not to just insult or anger Indra, but it was to destroy Indra's pride and to uplift him. So my dear friends, this is extremely important, and let us spend a few minutes discussing this. Our Sridhar Swami is saying that Krishna's intention was not just to insult Indra. It was not just to arouse anger in Indra, but Krishna's purpose is to destroy the pride of Indra in order to uplift him. Indra Uddhar. So here, my dear friends, the lesson is there is a world of a difference, my dear friend. There is a world of a difference between the punishment given, between the punishment meted out by a conditioned soul and the punishment meted out by a pure devotee. There is world of a difference. When as conditioned souls we punish out of anger, we punish out of envy, we punish out of frustration, we punish out of ill feelings for somebody. That is how conditioned soul punishes others. But how does a pure devotee of Krishna, how do they punish? They punish out of compassion. They punish out of love. And all of us, we must aspire for that stage, where even if we have to discipline somebody, even if we have to chastise somebody, we do it out of love, compassion, and concern to uplift them. This we will discuss now. So you see, in the verse it is mentioned that Keshav is going to start speaking to Nanda Baba now. Why? In order to arouse anger in Indra. So Sridhar Swami immediately is commenting that Krishna's purpose is not only to arouse anger in Indra or to insult him, but it is to destroy Indra's pride. Indra is suffering. Indra is a patient. He is suffering from pride. And that pride, Krishna being the expert physician, through his words and his activities, Krishna is going to cure Indra of his false pride. Our Sridhar Swami is explaining. Nobody should misunderstand Krishna, that Krishna is doing this just to instigate Indra. No. Krishna, is like an expert surgeon, wants to remove that cancer of pride, which is in Indra's consciousness, Indra's heart. So that is explaining. So now let us spend few minutes discussing what is this difference between a punishment given by a pure soul and punishment given by a conditioned soul. We will take two examples, my dear friends, from Srimad Bhagavatam. The first example is Shaubari Muni. Shaubari Muni was performing, he was very powerful Muni. He could live underwater for a long time, months and months he could live underwater. And he was doing tapasya. And he was very intelligent. He chose Vrindavan Dham to do tapasya. And not just Vrindavan Dham, Yamuna in Vrindavan Dham. Yamuna flows, from Yamunotri all the way to the ocean. He could have chosen any spot. But Shaubari Muni was so learned, so intelligent. He chose Vrindavan, Yamuna. Yamuna flowing through Vrindavan. And he sat underwater and he was doing meditation, austerities, to purify himself, to get spiritual strength. And staying underwater, being in the association of the fish and being without association of other sadhus. Our Shaubari Muni unfortunately became attached to the fish. And when the fish complained that in this Garudji has come to eat us, Shaubari Muni immediately, because of his attachment to the fish, Shaubari Muni was more attached to the fish in the river than to Garudji, who is a great pure devotee of Krishna. And immediately Shaubari Muni took sides with the fish. And Shaubari Muni spoke against Garudji. He told Garudji, don't come here and disturb the fish, go away. Now my dear friends, Shaubari Muni is a sadhak. He's a practicing devotee. And who is Garudji? Garudji is a Nitya Siddha. He's an eternal associate of the Lord. So does a sadhak, a conditioned soul like Shaubari Muni have the adhikar? Does he have the right and authority to chastise a pure devotee, a Nitya Siddha like Garudji? A liberated soul like Garudji? Absolutely no. He has no adhikar. Similarly, does Indra, who is a karma mishra bhakta, who is a conditioned soul, he's a devotee but a conditioned soul, does he have the right to accept worship from pure devotees, Nanda Maharaj and the Brajvasis? Absolutely no. Nanda Maharaj and the Brajvasis are on the highest platform of bhakti. How can a karma mishra bhakta accept honor and worship and puja from Nitya Siddha Bhakta? It is Maryada Vyatikram. It is breach of etiquette. It should not be like that. It is like we expect that our Guru Maharaj will come and serve us. Hare Krishna. It's even sinful to even imagine like that or talk like that. But it is like that. Indra accepting worship from Nanda Maharaj and other Gopas. Very, very improper. So here, analyze my dear friends. Let's analyze. Shaubari Muni, he curses Garudji that if you ever dare to come in this Yamuna waters again, in this section of Yamuna, you will immediately die. And Shaubari Muni had the power to give such a curse to a powerful devotee like Garudji. And Garudji had the power to counter curse Shaubari Muni. But see the greatness of Garudji. Garudji accepted that curse and went away without counter cursing Shaubari Muni. Hare Krishna. Here itself we come to know who is more advanced. Is Shaubari Muni more advanced or is Garudji more advanced? Of course, Garudji is more advanced. But Shaubari Muni has the audacity to curse him. Now, what happens when out of anger you punish somebody? Shaubari Muni got angry at Garudji because Garudji refused to go away. He said, no, I am an eagle and it is my dharma to eat these fish. And I am eating them. And Garudji had every right because being a pure devotee, when he eats those fish immediately get a higher destination. They are promoted to a much higher position because they are serving as food for Garudji. So Garudji refused to comply with the orders of Shaubari Muni. Shaubari Muni got angry and out of anger, out of vengeance, out of frustration, Shaubari Muni cursed and punished Garudji. So what happens when we punish or we curse or we act against somebody out of anger in our conditioned state? When we do that, the consequences are very bad. What happened because of the curse of Shaubari Muni to Garudji? Just fast forward a few years. What happens? Shaubari Muni fell down. He saw some fish mating. Lust arose in his heart. He gave up his austerities, his meditation, came out of the Yamuna, went to King Mandhata and got married to his 50 daughters. Hare Krishna. Fell down from his spiritual practices. So first of all, Saubhari Muni fell down because of Vaishnava Aparadh, because of offending a great devotee like Garudaji. But that is not all, my dear friends. Those fish who complained against Garud, they also had to suffer. Hare Krishna. What happened? Saubhari Muni fell down. He left the association of those fish. He left those fish alone. Those fish who had complained against Garudaji. And after Saubhari Muni left, who came to that river? Kaliya. Hare Krishna. And Kaliya poisoned the entire section of river Yamuna and killed all those fish. Hare Krishna. Garudaji was only coming and eating 1 or 2 fish. But now, because of complaining against Garudaji and Saubhari Muni, because of cursing Garudaji, a great devotee, now see, Kaliya comes and all those fish have to die. Finished. Everybody died. Not only the fish, even the grass and the trees around Yamuna, they all had to die. Just see the effects of Vaishnava Aparadha. So when we punish somebody or discipline somebody out of anger in our conditioned state, the results are horrible. They are very undesirable. We should not do that. So how should we discipline others if we have to do it and we are in that position? How should we punish others? Whether it is our children or anybody else. Some devotee who are under our care, who we are supposed to guide, if we have to correct them, how should that be done? That example is Narad Muni. Narad Muni also cursed. Saubhari Muni cursed Garudji. Narad Muni cursed Nalakuver and Manigrave. See the contrast, my dear friends. See the contrast. What was the result of Narad Muni's curse? Nalakuver and Manigrave got Vrajvas. Hare Krishna. Saubhari Muni is trying to drive away Garudji from Vrindavan by his curse. And Narad Muni, by his curse, he is bringing Nalakuver and Manigrave to Vrindavan. See the difference. And what is the effect of Narad Muni's curse? Nalakuver and Manigrave become uplifted. They become purified. They get to see the childhood pastimes of Krishna. They get to see Damodar Leela. What fortune! What fortune! All because of Narad Muni's cursing. This is the difference when a pure devotee punishes versus when a conditioned person punishes. This is the difference when we punish out of love. Narad Muni punished out of love, out of compassion on Nalakuver and Manigrave. And Saubhari Muni punished out of anger and frustration and envy. See the difference in the outcomes. Nalakuver and Manigrave became pure devotees. They got Rajvas, they got darshan of Krishna and all the Krishna's childhood pastimes. They saw Putana die. They saw Trinavarta die. They saw Shakatasur die. They saw Krishna's Makhanchor Leela. They saw the Damodar Leela. Just imagine the great fortune of Nalakuver Manigrave. All because of being cursed by Narad Muni. And at the end, they became pure devotees. And they got Krishna darshan. They offered beautiful prayers. They circumambulated Krishna and went back to do their services in the heavenly planets. Service of always glorifying Krishna and his devotees. That is the effect. Therefore, my dear friends, when we punish our children, or when we have to discipline or give a constructive feedback to the devotees who are under our care as leaders, we must do it out of love, we must do it out of concern, and we must do it out of compassion. Hare Krishna. Then the outcome will be good. But if we try to do something, act against devotees or speak against devotees out of anger or frustration or personal envy, Hare Krishna, then we will fall down like Saubhari Muni. The outcome will be very bad. Kaliya will come in our hearts, Hare Krishna, and poison everything. We have to be very honest. We have to be very careful, my dear friends. We have to be very careful. We are dealing with devotees. Hare Krishna. So that is a very, very important lesson from this commentary of Sridhar Swami. Then we go to the commentary of Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami says, look at the verse number 12. The verse number 12, in the second line, it is Tatha. Sanatan Goswami chooses to focus his attention on this one word, Tatha. Sanatan Goswami says that in this verse number 12, the word Tatha is used. Tatha means and others also. Means Nanda Maharaj and others also. Sanatan Goswami says this indicates that all the senior residents Brajokasam, all the senior residents of Vrindavan, they agreed with Nanda Baba. They were siding with Nanda Baba. And they were telling that, yes, we must have this Indra Puja. So Sanatana Goswami says, just see, our Krishna and Balram are on one side, and all Nanda Maharaj and all the senior Brajvasis, they are on the other side. They are siding with Indra. Indra Puja should be performed. And Sanatana Goswami says, now just see what our Shauri, what our Krishna is going to do. He is going to convince all of them not to do Indra Puja, Sanatana Goswami says. And then we go to Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami says to verse number 12, Krishna is addressed here as Keshav. You see, the last word of the verse, number 12, is Keshava. Jiva Goswami chooses to focus on this one word, Keshav, in his Tika, in his commentary. He says, Krishna is addressed here as Keshav. Why? Jiva Goswami says that because Ka means Brahma and Keshav. So Ka is Brahma, Isha is Lord Shiva. One of the name of Shankar Bhagwan is Isha. He's called Isha. So Ka means Brahma, Isha, Keshav. So Isha is Shiva and Va, Keshava. Va means, according to Jiva Goswami, Va has two meanings. Va could mean to stand as servants. So Jiva Goswami says Keshava means that Lord in front of whom Brahma and Shiva, Ka and Isha are standing, are standing as servants, order carriers. So Keshav means Krishna in whose presence Brahma and Shiva stand as servants with folded hands. And also Va, Jiva Goswami says, means to give life to. So Keshava means Krishna who gives life even to Brahma and Shiva. So Jiva Goswami says that Krishna is addressed by Shukdev Goswami as Keshav here specifically because Krishna is the Lord and Master and the giver of life to Brahma and Shiva. So who is Indra compared to Brahma and Shiva? Indra may be king of demigods, but those demigods does not refer to Brahma and Shiva. Brahma and Shiva are not under Indra. Indra may be the king of the other demigods, but not Brahma and Shiva. Brahma and Shiva are even superior to Indra. So if Brahma and Shiva are servants of Keshav, are servants of Krishna, then why this small little tiny puny Indra wants to expect worship not just from Krishna, but from Krishna's father, Nanda Baba. So look at Jiva Goswami's contrast. He says that there is Brahma and Shiva who are above Indra, and Brahma and Shiva are servants of Krishna, and Nanda Maharaj is Krishna's father, whose Krishna carries the footwear of Nanda Maharaj on his head. And this little tiny Indra wants to be worshipped by Krishna's father, Jiva Goswami says. This is ridiculous, Jiva Goswami says, by focusing on the word Kesha. Then we go to the last commentary for today. Sorry, I have gone over time. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in response to verse number 12. Chakravarti Path says that now our Krishna is going to initiate Govardhan Puja by his speech, as he is going to speak to Nanda Maharaj. And he is going to teach Indra that his false pride has become like a big mountain. Chakravarti Path is saying that Krishna is saying through this, through his words in the forthcoming verses, he's going to show to Indra that Indra, rascal, your pride has become like a big mountain of false pride you are carrying with you. And you are Indra, you are known with your Vajra, you smash mountains to pieces. But you are not smashing this mountain of pride that you are carrying yourself. Therefore, I will use my mountain, Govardhan, Giriraj, the king of mountains, to smash your mountain of pride that you are carrying in your heart. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is using this very wonderful comparison between the two mountains. The mountain of pride that Indra is carrying and king of the mountains, Govardhan. And he's saying, Chakravarti Path is saying that Krishna is going to use king of mountains, Govardhan, to smash to pieces the mountain of false pride that his devotee Indra has. So we will conclude, my dear friends, with a little discussion on this point. So here, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Krishna is going to use Haridasa Varya, the best of the devotees, Govardhan, to smash the pride of Indra, who is also a devotee of Krishna. So the point is, Krishna is using one devotee to correct another devotee. Hare Krishna. Krishna is using one devotee to correct and uplift another devotee. This is a very important lesson for all of us, my dear friends. Indra and Govardhan, both are devotees. Govardhan is referred to as Haridasa Varya. He is the best among the devotees. And Indra also is one of the very exalted devotees of Krishna. Because he is the king of the Devatas, and Devatas are all devotees. So what is the difference between Indra and Govardhan? Let us analyze. I have come up with 4 points. There are 4 differences that I could see between these two devotees who are going to be pitched against each other, Indra and Govardhan. First difference is, Indra is a very, very great Devata, very, very great demigod. In fact, Indra is the king of demigods. And who is Govardhan? Govardhan is just one little mountain in a forest of Vrindavan. He's just a mountain. Indra is not just a mountain. Indra is the destroyer of mountains with his Vajra. Indra is known with his thunderbolt. He can destroy the mountains to crush them to powder. So Govardhan is just a mountain, and Indra is the destroyer of mountains with his thunderbolt. He is the king of the Devatas. See the difference. Second difference. Indra has been worshipped paramparagat. He has been worshipped through generations. He has been worshipped and adored and praised. And Govardhan, until now, he has never even once been worshipped, my dear friends. Please remember these differences. We are going to discuss them. Indra has been worshipped generation after generation by the Brajvasis. And on the other hand, Govardhan, he has not been worshipped even once till today, as the Leela is unfolding. Third difference. Indra is the object of great respect. And Indra is very well known for performing great tasks. Indra has killed so many demons. Indra is the king of heaven. He is mentioned in the Vedas. And he has performed so many Herculean tasks. He has performed 100 Rajasuya Yajnas. That's why he has become Indra. So he's very, very great personality. And what does the CV? So Indra's CV is very powerful, very, very nice, very impressive CV Indra has got. But what is the CV of Govardhan? Govardhan is just a little mountain rendering menial service. What service Govardhan is doing? He just grows some fruits for Krishna, Balaram and their friends to eat. Govardhan just grows some grass for Krishna's cows to eat. That is the service of Govardhan. Very, very menial service anybody can do. Any mountain can do that service. So Govardhan's service appears to be very menial, very small, very insignificant. And what is Indra's service? Oh, big yajnas he is doing, big wars he is fighting against the demons and defeating them also. So Indra appears to be having a very, very impressive CV. And Govardhan has a very, very small little CV of just doing menial service. And fourth, but Indra is not a Brajvasi and Govardhan is a Brajvasi. There's a difference. So this one difference outweighs the other 3 differences. Govardhan is a pure devotee. He's a Brajvasi. He's a pure devotee. And Indra is not a pure devotee. So just based on that one difference, the balance tilts in favor of Govardhan. Indra may have so much to his credit, but this one quality that Govardhan is a pure devotee, Indra is not. Govardhan is a more advanced devotee than Indra. This one qualification tilts the balance in the other way. So the question is, who should we respect in life? Please listen carefully, my dear friends. We have come to the conclusion of our discussion. Question is, who should we respect in life? Should we respect somebody who is more learned than us, who has more knowledge of Shastra than us? Number 2. Should we respect somebody who has got more strength, more beauty, more followers, more opulence than us? Number 3. Should we respect somebody who has got more wealth, who is a bigger donor, he has got more money, bigger house, better car than us? Number 4. Should we respect somebody because they are older than us, they are elder to us, they are senior in age? Should we respect them because of that? These are the 4 questions. And my dear friends, the answer is, we should respect everyone. Amanina manadena. We respect everyone. And yes, we may respect devotees based on these 4 criteria also. They have more knowledge of scripture. They have more strength than us, more fame than us, more popularity than us. They may be better managers than us. Number 3, they may have more wealth than us. We may respect devotees for that. They are bigger donors than us. And number 4, they are older than us. They are elder to us by age. Yes, we can respect them on all these 4 criteria. But my dear friends, these 4 criteria become insignificant in comparison to the 5th criteria. And the 5th criteria is spiritual advancement. Our adhikar. What is our spiritual advancement? How realized we are? What is the level of our bhakti? What is our bhakti shakti? Spiritual advancement is the 5th criteria, and this 5th criteria is more important than the other 4 criteria. Shri Srimad Govind Maharaj explains that Brahmans, they respect each other based on knowledge. Are you Dvivedi? Are you Trivedi? Are you Chaturvedi? Like that. They respect based on knowledge of Shastra. Number 2, Kshatriyas respect others based on their military strength. You have 1 Akshahuni, you have 5 Akshahuni, how big your kingdom is, how much wealth you have you performed 2 Rajasuya Yajna or 5 Rajasuya Yajnas? They respect based on that. Kshatriyas. They respect based on strength. Vaishyas respect based on money. Do you have more wealth than me? You have more businesses than me? You have 2 shops, I have only 1 shop. You have 2 houses, I have only 1 house. So Vaishyas may respect based on financial status, based on money. And Shudras respect based on age, simply based on age. Oh, you are 80 years old, you are smoking, you are still engaged in all abominable things, but because you are older than me, I have to respect you. So that is Shudra mentality. We should respect everybody. I'm not saying we should not respect. But a Shudra will respect just based on age. Oh, you are older than me? Namaskar. Vaishyas will respect just based on money. Kshatriyas will respect just based on strength. And Brahmans will respect based on knowledge. But Sri Srimad Govind Maharaj, he explains that most important criteria to offer respect is the 5th criteria, which is spiritual advancement. What was Shukdev Goswami's age when he spoke Bhagavatam compared to other devotees who were sitting in the assembly? There was Vyasdev, there was Narad Muni sitting there. There was Vishwamitra Muni, Vasishtha Muni. They were all sitting there in the assembly. Even Parishit Maharaj was elder to Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami, in fact, was the youngest person there. But he was given the Vyasasana. Hare Krishna. So do we respect based on age only? No. Based on spiritual advancement. Like that. So Maharaj Pratap Rudra was fabulously wealthy. He was the king. But he respected Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Why? Because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had so much bhakti for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He would approach Mahaprabhu through Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So wealth is or strength is not the criteria. It is bhakti. It is devotion. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Sri Rangam, South India Yatra. He told that Brahman who could not even read Bhagavad Gita properly, who was struggling his way to Bhagavad Gita, that you are the knower of Bhagavad Gita. He didn't give that seal of approval to the learned Brahmans there. He gave it to that almost illiterate Brahman who was struggling to read Bhagavad Gita. Because he was crying as he was thinking that my dear Krishna is sitting on the chariot of Arjun and he's protecting his devotees, Partha Sarthi. He was crying. Mahaprabhu embraced him and said, you are the knower of Bhagavad Gita. So we respect not based on knowledge. The main respect is based on spiritual advancement. Even if there is somebody who is young, but they are very pure in their acharan, they have sadachar, they have bhakti, we should respect them. We respect everybody based on all the 5 criteria, but the most important is bhakti. And that we see in case of Indra and Govardhan. Indra was a king of the Devatas and Govardhan is just an ordinary mountain. Indra does big services. Govardhan just supplies grass to the cows. Indra was worshipped for many generations. Govardhan has never been worshipped till today. But now Krishna is going to pitch Govardhan against Indra. Indra is going to try with all his might to crush Govardhan to pieces with his cloud, with his thunderbolt, everything, and nothing is going to work. Why? Because Govardhan is a pure devotee. So this is a very, very important lesson for us, my dear friends. Sometimes Krishna may use devotee to correct us, to chastise us, to uplift us. We should not take it personally and start harboring ill feelings towards that devotee who is giving us a feedback or who is chastising us. That devotee is doing a service to us. Maybe Krishna is, through that devotee, is telling us. When Sanatana Goswami told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why are you going to Vrindavan with millions of followers? Vrindavan is not a place to go with millions of people. Vrindavan is a place where you should go alone and do your bhajan. At the most, take 1 or 2 servants with you. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not tell Sanatana Goswami, why are you giving me advice? I am Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am sannyasi. You are just an officer working for the Muslim king. How dare you advise me? No. Mahaprabhu says that Krishna spoke through Sanatana and gave me advice. And Mahaprabhu listened to Sanatana Goswami. He did not go to Vrindavan in that trip. He returned back to Nilachal. And he made another trip to go to Vrindavan later. So sometimes Krishna may correct us through devotees or even chastise us through devotees. And we should take it with maturity. We should not take it personally. Krishna is teaching us. So like that. So if we can see now, Krishna is using Govardhan, who is a devotee, to correct Indra, who is another devotee. Sometimes there will be some struggle between devotees, but we should take it in the right spirit. We should see Krishna's hand in our dealings with Vaishnavas. Please remember this point from today's class. We must see Krishna's hand in devotee interactions, in devotee relationships. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yomam pasyati sarvatra sarvasyamai pasyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. One who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, for him I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We must memorize this verse. Yomam pasyati sarvatra. We should see Krishna everywhere and in everything. If a devotee is fighting with us, if a devotee is chastising us, if a devotee is giving us a feedback, or a devotee is disagreeing with us, maybe Krishna is trying to teach me something through this. I remember once, I'll give one example. One Mataji, she had taken her child with a nanny to a temple for Sunday feast. This is in India. So one devotee lady has taken her child. The child was hardly 1 year old, with a nanny for a Sunday feast in the temple. It was not Sunday feast actually, it was Radhashtami. And now the temple was crowded, and this temple is such that there is a main temple hall and there are 2 rooms on the side also, from where you cannot have darshan, but you can sit and hear the class. So this Mataji was sitting in the side room where all the mothers with their children sit. So she was sitting there, and it was Radhashtami, and she really wanted to, she was hearing the class, but she really wanted to take darshan also of Shri Radha Gopinath. So she told the nanny, you watch the child and I will go and sit inside because I really want to take darshan. It's Radhashtami, special darshan today. I want to see Radharani's lotus feet. I want to see the beautiful darshan. So she left the child with the nanny and she went and sat in the inner side of the temple hall. So she could hear the lecture, she could see the darshan nicely. She went and sat, and the child started wailing and crying loudly. The child wanted milk and the nanny couldn't pacify the child, and the whole lecture got disturbed, and this mother had to get up and come running in the side room and then take the child, feed milk and pacify the child. But everybody got disturbed. And later on, one Mataji went to this mother and chastised her. Why did you leave your newborn child like this? Why did you leave your infant like this alone in the hall? It's not proper. Just to take darshan, you should take care of your child first. That is your first priority. And this mother who was being chastised, she started crying because she was not used to being chastised like this. She started crying on Radhashtami. But later on that evening, she was telling that when I thought about it, I thought this was Radharani's mercy. Otherwise, why on Radhashtami I will get chastised like this in front of everyone by a superior Vaishnavi? Radharani must be wanting to teach me something. Maybe there is something wrong in what I am doing, how I am handling this child, and I need to be more careful. So she became more careful about that nanny. First of all, she stopped leaving that child alone. And she also became very careful about that nanny. And sometimes the nanny would take the child to the park in the evening with the driver. So this mother, she told the driver that you just don't sit in the car. You also go in the park and keep an eye on this nanny. Make sure she's taking care of my child nicely. And that driver came and reported, Madam, what, she just takes her child to the park and puts the child in one swing. And she has a boyfriend who comes to visit her in the park. And she's chatting ha he with that boyfriend for 1 hour. Not taking care of it. The child is crying there. I saw myself today. So then immediately the mother, she removed that nanny from service. So she was having this realization that something worse could have happened to my child in the park. Somebody could have kidnapped my child could have fallen down and gotten hurt. But because this senior Mataji chastised me for neglecting my child, and I took it as Radharani's mercy, Krishna is teaching me some lesson, and I paid more vigilance to this nanny, I realized that this nanny is not doing her duty properly, and I was able to take appropriate steps. This is just one very small example how we should see Krishna's hand in everything. Normally what happens if I am sitting here and Mukta Sangha Prabhu is sitting in front, I'm looking at him now. Suppose Mukta Sangha Prabhu comes and says, chastises to me, Adigadhar Prabhu, we gave you 2-3 sessions of Govardhan Lila, you are not finishing only, there are 4 chapters, you have not finished 1 chapter also, you are only taking 3 verses. This is nonsense. Stop, don't come next Saturday. So I go, hey, Mukta Sangha Prabhu is such, he's insulting me like this. This is so disrespectful. I will do something now. So what happens is, I am just seeing Mukta Sangha Prabhu. I am just seeing that this is Mukta Sangha Prabhu against me. But I am not seeing Krishna. We have to see Krishna's hand in everything. So we have to think, oh, maybe Krishna is trying to teach us something through Mukta Sangha Prabhu. That is the meaning of Yamam Pashita Sarvatra. We have to see Krishna's hand in our relationships. Sometimes Krishna may use another devotee to teach us a lesson. Krishna will be testing us through another devotee. By making another devotee speak in a certain way, Krishna will be testing us. So we have to see Krishna's hand in everything. We have to try and train our mind like that. That is the meaning of Yavam Pashita Sarvatra. So that is what we are learning from this commentary of Chakravarti Path. And I will conclude by saying that something that I heard from Srila, His Holiness Niranjan Swami Maharaj, one of the great gurus and leaders in our ISKCON society. His Holiness Niranjan Swami Maharaj says, we have to take this instruction in the heart and keep it and digest it. Please listen carefully. Srila Niranjan Swami Maharaj says that we must pray to Krishna so that we are corrected in the assembly of devotees. Hare Krishna. So now see, now I am speaking Harikatha and I quoted a verse from Bhagavad Gita, Yamam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvasya Mai Pashyati. Now if I would have forgotten that verse, what is that? Can somebody help me? What is that for Yamam Pashyati? And then somebody will prompt me. Yamam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvasya Mai Pashyati. Oh, okay. I get it. So now I have been corrected by a devotee. I have been prompted. I have been helped by a devotee. So Niranjan Maharaj is saying that we should pray to Krishna that in this way we should be corrected by devotees. Or I may make a mistake. So when Govardhan Dharan Lila took place, Krishna was 5 years old. And Mukta Sangha Prabhu will say, Adigadhar Prabhu, sorry, he was 7 years old, not 5 years. Oh, okay. Thank you for correcting. So Niranjan Maharaj says we should pray that in the assembly of devotees, we are corrected by devotees. Normally, what is the tendency? I want to give such a perfect class. I want to quote the verses so nicely. I want to quote the facts from Bhagavatam so nicely, so crisply. There should be no mistake in my presentation. Nobody should point a finger at me. Because that is very pleasing to the false ego. Arey Prabhu, kya class diya? What class you gave? First class. You want to be first class. It is good to try to be first class. But Niranjan Maharaj is giving us a different perspective. That let me be corrected in the assembly of devotees. What does that mean? That even if I make a mistake, let the devotees correct me so that I will be humbled. Corrected means what? The Harikatha is not suffering. Not that I am giving wrong information and going away. No, a devotee is correcting me. Which means a devotee is correcting me means I am feeling humbled. Niranjan Maharaj says when we are corrected by devotees, it gives humility. And humility is an ornament for devotees. So look at his depth. He's saying we should pray that we are corrected by devotees. The normal tendency is that I should be faultless in the assembly of devotees. Everybody should say, aha, perfect, perfect. Prabhu, you are perfect. But Niranjan Maharaj said we should be corrected by devotees. That is very pleasing. That gives humility. So with this meditation, my dear friends, I will conclude the presentation today. We completed till verse number 12. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Do we have some time for questions, Prabhu? Or
Prabhu, if you want, if it's okay, we can spend a few minutes. Yes.
okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
If
Krishna.
anyone has question, you can raise your hands and I'll call out the names. So there's Ram Kumar Prabhu. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Please just accept my humble obeisances. So wonderful lecture, Prabhuji, wonderful session. We got so many of content. Yeah, we have to go again and again to this video to get it more and more clear. So much of nectar, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So just
Hare
I was wondering, Prabhuji, like you told, like 4 stages of bhakti, and they are in the 9 stages of devotional service. When we read through, I mean that 9 stages of devotional service. Adav Sraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Atha Bhajan Kriya Tato Anarth Nivritti Sya Tato Nishtha Tato Ruchira Asakti Tato Bhava Tata Prema Avidhanchati. So Prabhuji, just that in the nectar of devotion we get this one. So this I am hearing first time, this one, to be honest, and it was so wonderful you explained, and it was so, like I have noted down very, very well. So in the both way, in the Krishna conscious way, like a spiritual context and the material context. So it's a very, very realizable. So how to understand these two way, Prabhuji? 9 stages of devotional service and 4 stages of bhakti. When we say bhakti, that means the devotional service in the English. So yeah, Prabhuji, please enlighten us.
Correct. So Ramkumar Prabhu, different acharyas can explain the same principle in little different ways with different angles of vision. So this is like that. Rupa Goswami is giving a more detailed categorization of the stage, and actually in Ujjwal Leelamani, Rupa Goswami further classifies this. Even Prem has got many stages. So 9 stages. So there is Shraddha. How you know that? So there is Shraddha. There is Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Bhav, Asakti, Prem. That Prem also has many stages.
Exactly.
So that is further sub-classification. So different acharyas can give from a different point of view. Rupa Goswami has given a very thorough, very detailed in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Ujjwal Leelamani. What we discussed from Madhurya Kadambini of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is another way of looking at it, but it's not very detailed. It's just, four bhav in bhakti. First is bhai, then there is some apeksha, then there is dharma, duty, and then it is out of prem, like that. So it's a different angle of vision of looking at the same thing.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So it's in the Madhurya Kadambini.
Madhurya Kadambini of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
Okay.
He explained. Yeah. I heard this in one of the lectures of His Grace Radhe Shyam Prabhu.
Okay.
Radhe Shyam Prabhu is giving very beautiful lectures on Chaitanya Charitamrita every day. So I like to hear those lectures. So in one of the lectures few days ago, I heard these four stages. Actually, he was giving a class based on a book written by His Holiness Shivaram Swami Maharaj. Shivaram Swami Maharaj is one of our ISKCON gurus, and Shivaram Maharaj has written a book on the different stages of bhakti. And Radhesham Prabhu is giving lectures based on that book of His Holiness Shivaram Maharaj, and he was talking about these 4 stages. So,
Nice.
yeah, it's just a different way of looking at the same thing.
Yeah. Prabhuji, another question, maybe it is a small one, like three varga, where we talked about the 3 varga. So what was those? I forget. Yeah. So question is like Prabhuji, I mean, Prabhupada Maharaj mentions many places Varga, like Varga. Sometime in the lecture I heard like Varga, like
Yeah.
Parisram, then Fena,
Yes.
Bhama, like
Yes.
so Kavarga, Pavarga, all are having their own significance, or just what we it is made simply made. It is made. I mean, what I'm trying to ask is Kakha Gaganga, Chacha Jajanya, Tata now what we have that. So Pavarga, Prabhupada Maharaj explained one in the one of the lecture I heard. So Srameva hi Kevalam, what we do that on that
Correct.
kind of similar.
Correct.
So is that kind of all five vargas are having similar kind of context, or it is just for explanation? Somebody told like. So I just remembered from 3 vargas to 5 vargas.
Yeah, as far as I have heard, it is for that. I have heard only for that from Srila Prabhupada, not for other vargas.
Yeah.
As far as I have heard, but there may be, I don't know. But I have only heard that one explanation from Prabhupada.
Okay. Fine, Prabhuji. Just I mentioned for just I heard that 3 varga. So I remembered that 5 vargas, there. So
Correct,
4
correct.
varga is the mentioned there. Yeah, thank you so much.
I have also heard only that one explanation by Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Regarding Shramaya Vahi Kevala.
Right. Yeah. Fine, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Parima Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a question. I find it very tricky. You gave the example that on Radhashtami day, that lady was chastised by some senior devotee. But in some cases, had that lady felt offended, would it become a Vaishnava aparadh?
If the mother felt offended,
Yes. See,
no.
it is the thing that every devotee, all Vaishnavas, all of us, we should take everything in the right sense. But there are times when there are some devotees who take everything, the other way. Sometimes it happens that you try to tell something positive and they take it the other way. Then in such cases, such small misunderstandings, does it become a Vaishnava aparadh, or does it become because sometimes we don't intend to basically criticize them, but we try to kind of correct them, or try to make them improve so that it is better for them.
Yes. So Mataji, this is a very important question. Whether it is Vaishnava aparadh or not, it will depend on the intention. If the intention is to put the devotee down, if the intention is to insult the devotee, or if the intention is to prove that I am better than you, I know more than you, I understand more than you, if that is the attitude, then yes, it is Vaishnava aparadh, for sure. It is Vaishnava aparadh. But if the intention is to safeguard the child, if the intention is to help the mother, if the intention is the betterment of the object of chastisement, then it is not Vaishnava aparadh. But we must realize that we should have the adhikar to do it. For example, this lady, this Mataji who chastised the mother, she was a counselor. She is a counselor. Okay. So she is very senior. She is very experienced. She is older than this mother who was chastised. Okay. So she had the adhikar and she had the right motivation. But still, she felt guilty. And I did not tell this, but later on she called this mother and she cried and apologized. Sorry, I was harsh at you. I made you cry on Radhashtami. I should not have yelled at you. I should not have chastised you. Okay. But then she told her story. She said, actually what happened many, many years ago, around 25, 30 years ago, when I was a mother like you, I had a son and I used to come every day for Mangalarti, every day for Bhagavatam class. I would be there for all the yatras. I would be there for all the festivals. I would be doing service in the temple. I would be in the kitchen. My child would be crying in the cradle and I would be doing service in the temple, making garlands, making the ghee wicks for lamps. I didn't want to compromise on my service. And my child was growing up to be very rebellious and arrogant because he was not getting my attention. So then my spiritual master chastised me. He said, Mataji, what are you doing? Every day you are in the temple, you are here for Mangalarti, you are waking up, your child is sleepy. This is not good. You stop coming to the temple from today. You just take care of your son. Your son is your deity. That is the instruction she got from her Guru Maharaj. She said, then I just took my responsibility as a mother very seriously. And now see, my child, he was rebellious, he was not. Who are in the same mood that I was in years ago. So you see, her motivation was very pure. And later on,
Hare Krishna. Haribol.
so it is important to introspect what stage we are in, but it may not be possible for us to understand properly because we are conditioned souls. So we may not be able to understand matters of transcendence. It is best that we follow the process that Guru Maharaj has given us, and at the same time we need Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. Diksha Guru is also Shiksha Guru. But we need Gurugan, our gurus in our life, to guide us on the process of Bhajan Kriya. So we need some superiors, very qualified, very sincere superiors, to whom we can take practical guidance and tips on improving our Bhajana Kriya. That way we can steadily progress on the path of Bhakti. So we may not be able to understand it ourselves, but a superior with whom we discuss our sadhana in confidence may be able to help us. But the things that we should look for, Mataji, in our own heart is how many material activities I do. Material activities means how many moments we commit. We do activities which are not favorable for Krishna consciousness. So I asked this exact same question that you asked in a little different way to my Shiksha Guru, because I was also wanting to make sure that I am introspecting properly and I am on the right path. So I asked this question: how do I prevent myself from falling down and make sure that I am advancing in Krishna consciousness? So my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Mukund Datta Prabhu, he is the head pujari of Shri Shri Krishna Balram Mandir in Vrindavan. Very, very exalted, very senior devotee in ISKCON. He has been the head pujari of Shri Shri Krishna Balram Mandir for more than 27-28 years now. Very, very pure soul. Very, very exalted personality. So Shripad Mukundatta Prabhu, he told me that you should always keep yourself on the spiritual plane. So what does this mean? I was introspecting in my own heart. What happens is we wake up in the morning, we chant our rounds, we do puja. But then there are certain things in the day which we do which are not really good for Krishna consciousness. So in my own heart, I was able to find one thing in particular which I'm trying to control myself. So he told me, you situate yourself on the spiritual plane at all times. So of course, when we are doing our duty as a working professional, as an engineer or doctor in my case, we have to do our professional duty. So that is all right. That is our dharma. That is our seva. We do that. But otherwise, outside of our work, situate yourself on the spiritual plane at all times. If you do this, you will never fall down. Like that he told me. So what does it mean? I analyzed. And I found one thing that I was doing very wrong. All of you are my friends. And we are close to each other. And Mukta Sangha Prabhu is my well-wisher. So I will speak from my heart, honestly. There is one thing that I was doing which is wrong, which can cause me to fall down. And when Mukunda Prabhu told me that, I introspected and I found that one thing that I must kick out of my life. What I used to do is, normally we are in Krishna consciousness and everything is okay, but there are times when we feel bored. Have any of you experienced that? Sometimes we just feel bored and we just feel lonely or just bored, we just want to do something entertaining now. I'm just little bored. We are just lying in bed and trying to get into sleep, fall asleep, or just we need little time pass in life sometimes. So what I had gotten into a habit, when I asked this question to Mukta Prabhu, I was into this habit. Sometimes I would watch cricket highlights. So I used to watch cricket a lot as a child, but when I came to Krishna consciousness, around the year 2000, I completely stopped. 1999, 2000, I completely stopped watching cricket. And then suddenly now, a few years back, I developed this thing that, okay, when I'm feeling bored and I want something entertaining, I cannot watch something dirty, I cannot watch movies. So what to do? Let me just watch some cricket highlights. I had missed out on so many years of cricket. So I didn't know when Tendulkar retired. I had never seen any game of that Dhoni, and so many things I had missed out over the years, 2 decades. So I was kind of catching up. So Yuvraj Singh's 6 sixes in 1 over. I would watch those highlights. So it was just 10-15 minutes of time pass, but I realized that is nonsense. In those 15 minutes, I can chant 2 rounds. Why? So now, if I want to watch something entertaining, I will tell you honestly, if I'm getting bored and I just want to do something, entertaining a little bit, I just put some Gaur Gopal Prabhu interview. So it is not directly Krishna conscious, but at the same time, it is nice. Like yesterday, I was having this moment where I just wanted something, few minutes of little spiritual entertainment. So I watched Gaur Gopal Prabhu's one interview with some radio, where Gaur Gopal Prabhu is talking against live-in relationships in India, which are coming up now, following the Western ways. And he's speaking in favor of the sacred institution of marriage. So it may not be Krishna Katha directly, but it is something that is bringing us to the mode of goodness. It is something anukul for Krishna consciousness. And I'm looking at a nice sadhu, Gaur Gopal Prabhu, with his shaved head, his shikha, his saffron clothes, his nice Vaishnav tilak, his kanthi mala. So I'm in touch with the devotee. So it is entertaining also instead of watching that. So like that. So we have to see in our life what activities we are doing which are not on the spiritual plane. And we should try to reduce such activities. If we situate ourselves on the spiritual plane, it is called avyartha kalatvam. Our Acharya explained that this is one of the symptoms of being on the platform of Bhav, which is the 8th platform. Avyartha kalatvam. We should try for avyartha kalatvam. We should try for avyartha kalatvam. Once I asked my counselor, His Grace Krishnanam Prabhu, that can you tell me somebody who is like really very, very advanced in our movement, right? So I can follow, I can hear their lectures and follow their example. He immediately told me, it is undoubtedly Shripad Vaisheshika Prabhu. Vaisheshika Prabhu we all know from ISKCON Silicon Valley. He is one of our Gurugan in ISKCON. So Krishna Prabhu told me that you should follow the example of Shripad Vaisheshika Prabhu because he's amazing. He said, I traveled with him because Krishna Prabhu used to do the auditing for BBT. So he traveled 1 year with Shripad Vaisheshika Prabhu to different centers where BBT is. And Krishna Prabhu said, for 30 days I was traveling with him, I never saw him waste one moment. We are standing in a line at an airport to check into a flight. He would keep a pocket book in his pocket Bhagavad Gita or some notebook, and he would take it out and he would start reciting verses, or he would chant his extra rounds. But no, not one moment. And I saw his sadhana is impeccable. Impeccable sadhana. The way he chants his rounds, his absorption, he's just a perfect Vaishnava. So he said we should keep such examples. So Vaisheshika, Shripad Vaisheshika Prabhu, he's an example of avyartha kalatvam. He's a person who is really up there, very, very advanced. Because avyartha kalatvam is very important, and all of us should try for avyartha kalatvam. Means not wasting time, not wasting a moment. At all times, we have to remind ourselves, I have to situate myself on a spiritual plane. Moment you want to browse something on Facebook or YouTube, immediately you should tell, no, avyartha kalatvam. I don't want to waste my time. I want to situate myself on a spiritual plane. So these are the things for ourselves. Situate oneself on a spiritual plane. Avyartha kalatvam. Don't waste time. Always be on the spiritual plane. And taking guidance from one's Shiksha Gurus as to which stage I am, how can I go to the next stage. Not exactly stage. How can I go to the next level? How can I make more advancement in Krishna consciousness? We should always be introspecting like that. And whatever things are there in our life which are pratikul, which are unfavorable for bhakti, we should make an attempt to get rid of them. Slowly. We can all find things that we are doing which are not good in our life. So like that. Is that helpful, Mataji, at all? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, very helpful, and thank you for sharing your realization and your everything. It is very
Hare Krishna. I am a
uh,
condition.
uh, Prabhuji, like for a Matajis, for like me, I am a housemaker. So is it possible for me to do impeccable sadhana? Because I am a housemaker and I
Yes.
have 2 kids.
Yes, you can.
Thank you very much.
Mukta Sangha Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhu. It's so nice, so practical, very practical example, so inspiring to all of us, and we would like to definitely try to follow, at least. So very nice for sharing such a very practical example, and thank you very much, Prabhu. I think we can end this session. And for all others, this recording will be uploaded on YouTube channel Krishna Bhakti Center, and yeah, you can go there and then review.
Thank you, Adi Gadadhar
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Good done.
Offer my humble
Hare
wishes
Krishna.
to all the
Thank
Vaishnavas,
you.
good as the Lord worthy, at least we can fulfill all desires, full of compassion, all condition goals, one Sindhu Dev, Pitanam,
Prabhuji, one request.
Namo Namah. Prabhupada
One
ki
request, Prabhuji. I have difficult questions, Prabhuji. Can I have your phone contact? I can reach out to you for private time.
Contact Mukta Sangha Prabhu.
Yes, I will see you, Prabhu. I will see Ram Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhu.
All glories to all.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.